Hello all, and welcome back to the channel. I am super excited for today's episode because it is finally time to unveil the latest castle I've been working on in a new castle building series here on the channel, which is a part of the growing medieval world of Redania. And so, this is Castle Kuttenstein. It's located just to the southwest of Castle Dobek. It is a much smaller castle than Dobek, but that's okay because it is still just as jam-packed with details and maybe even more so. And now for a bit of lore. Kuttenstein Castle is a mid to late century medieval castle that sits upon somewhat of a rocky promontory with its back facing the River Beck. It's the residence of a knight who serves loyally as a retainer to the Lord of Dobek. This knight is a descendant from a long line of knights who have loyally fought in many pivotal battles alongside their comrades, their lords, and king. They are known for their grit and tenacity on the battlefield, leading many of the charges, and their ability to smash through many of their foes' defenses like none other. Fittingly, their house standard depicts a red ram on a yellow field. Because of years of loyal military service, the crown, through the House of Dobek, granted his family the Kuttenstein Castle and a small fief. For generations, his family has called Kuttenstein Castle home. Over the generations, due to a lack of wars and the ever-growing peace and stability throughout the realm, keeping their coffers from running completely dry became a bit of a problem due to their excessive spending. To continue to feed their appetite for their lavish lifestyle, the lords of Kuttenstein Castle turned to rearing and herding sheep for their wool and other related goods. Becoming one of the top leading exporters in wool within the region has allowed his house to live quite comfortably. Though the castle itself, modest in size, boasts some of the most impressive defenses such as tall, thick walls, multiple towers and vantage points for flanking. The castle sits upon a rocky promontory, protecting it from undermining or allowing siege weapons from getting too close to its walls. And of course, the long, winding, and tedious path up to the gatehouse with drawbridge. Okay guys, welcome back from the time lapse. We are floating right out front of Kuttenstein Castle in all its majesty, and I have to say, I think it came out spectacularly. Really digging the look and feel of this place. Obviously, very Kingdom Come Deliverance inspired. And since the first trailer of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 dropped, I've just been gnawing at the bit for a chance to get in there and create my own Kingdom Come Deliverance inspired styled castle. And so I just wanted this castle to be sort of a nod or tribute to castles like Skalitz or Taumburg, and just generally check castles in general. But I really love doing smaller castles like these. I'm really able to really focus in on these little details, like these little stones that are like protruding from the wall, just adding a little bit more depth and texture, as well as the vines growing up, adding in some atmosphere there. And all around the walls of the castle, we have our house colors hanging on the crenellations, the red and yellow. And then we do have some more vines just growing up, just adding some more texture and color, contrast, I guess you can say, to the castle walls. And then over here, we just have our garderows here, and I kept them wooden because I just wanted it to feel more simple. And then over here we have a wooden bridge. Again, during an attack, if needed be, our defenders could destroy this bridge with fire. Obviously effective for stopping an attacker from advancing any further. And then we have this nice big tower here, giving the castle some nice flanking capabilities from this point. And we have some vines growing up on it too, just to add in some more texture and contrast to that. So yeah, again, a very small castle, but do not let the size deceive you. This castle is very defendable. As you can even see, the road itself, it's an obstacle in itself. The castle road is long and windy, and yes, it does start off kind of wide here, but as you move further on up the road, it does bottleneck. And if you're an attacker, I think that just spells bad news. And a matter of fact, there isn't a point on this road that an attacker would be safe from the defender's arrow or crossbow fire. And I will be showing you guys that as we move through the tour. Over here, I went ahead and added in some stakes that are pointed out. I just thought, this space could use something like this. Not that, necessarily anyone would bring anything this way anyway, because it's too rocky and too high, but, just in case, I just went ahead and added some stakes in the ground there. But we're gonna go ahead and head up to the castle via the road here, as intended. So again, notice some of the little stones that are like jetting out of the wall. Again, it's a cool little effect that adds some depth to this area here. And I have these all around the castle and its walls. And then as we advance further up this road, as you guys start to notice, the road goes into more of a bottleneck. Obviously, again, good for the defenders, easy to pick off the attackers. Then we come to the wooden bridge here. We make our way over it. And now we make our way around the first main large tower here. And then we come to our second wooden bridge to approach our gatehouse here with a drawbridge. And I think this is kind of cool. Our gatehouse here depicts our coat of arms, the ram, and also on the shields it depicts the coat of arms that you've seen in the time lapse and probably in the thumbnail, the ram head, the red ram head on a yellow field there. But that was the best I could do to get it to look as close as possible. But anyways, looking up here to our hoardings at the top, they are machiculated and they do actually work, and I will be showing you guys that closer as we move on through this tour. But I think we'll go ahead and move on through the gatehouse here. Stepping in and looking up, we do have some murder holes right here. Then we have this really big door here that lets us in. We don't have any portcullis in this castle, but it's not really needed. But stepping into the courtyard, and you guys just take a second to just look at this. I really loved how it turned out. It really feels really dirty and nitty and gritty, and there's quite a lot to check out in here. So we're gonna do our best to try to check everything out and hope I don't forget anything out. And then over here, we do have a dove cove. It's kind of a new design. And so I've just been playing around with kind of changing up little things like that, but it does have a ladder that leads up to it. Over here we have a place to keep our firewood, and then some supplies right here. Then obviously our most important resource, we have a well right here. And then we have this little archery area for our guards, our archers, to just practice and sharpen their archery skills. And then, where to next? I think we'll go ahead and check out the stables over here where our horses are kept. We have some saddles there. These are the horses of our knights. They look pretty happy, and they have some flies flying around them because of the poop on the ground. Cool little detail. Maybe not so necessary, but I put it there anyways. And then right off the stables, we have our sheep pen for our lord's sheep, his herd, his personal sheep. As you can see here, they're just in the yard eating and looking at us. And then if we step inside, we have a couple of goats or rams or whatever you want to call these ones here, males, and they're obviously being separated because they're really aggressive and they want to get to our lady sheeps over here, and it's not time for that. So we're gonna go ahead and move on though and check out some more of the interiors of this bailey here. So making our way over here, we come to our kennels where the Lord keeps his hounds, in this case wolves. But yeah, they have a few bones in here and they're being good. They're not too rowdy. Go ahead and close the door. And then moving on, back here where our guardrails are located, we have our pig pen. We have our smelly pigs in the yard here eating their fill. And if we go in the house here, we have one that's sleeping. And now stepping back out, we come to this place here, and I can already guess that you guys know what this is. So again, when the Lord or his household uses the bathroom, it goes here. It falls from there. It goes down this and it drops right into this basin over here, and then it's some poor individual's job to scoop it and remove it from the castle grounds. And now I did have an idea to make it used where water flows and washes it out when it rained, but I didn't really want to complicate it. I wanted to keep this castle as simple as possible, and so I just went with, again, a big large basin at the bottom where the stuff gathers and someone has to remove it. So moving on, we come to a couple of chicken coops we have here with our chickens, as you can see, and they're just kind of just hanging out and chilling. But this building here is the guard barracks, and now this is where our guards will come and, you know, get something to eat, relax, and sit down for a little bit when they're not on shift of guarding the castle. We have some food supplies here in the corner. So that's that. We'll go ahead and close the door. So we'll go ahead and walk around and check out the top portion of the building. Here we have some supply there as well. But going up the stairs, we step inside where the guards can get some shut-eye. As you can see, it does have quite a few decent beds in here for our off-duty guards to just come and get some good sleep. We have a chest for some storage. And moving on through here, we step into our main tower, the main circular tower here, and it lets out through here, so you can access this tower also from there, as well as the inside of the barracks. And it's really cool in here. We have a lot of supplies, mainly arrows, and then as you can see, we can flank our enemies when they're crossing our path here. And also here, we have a good view of who's approaching the castle from there. And then here. So that's really cool. And these walls, as you guys can see, are actually really thick. Moving up this ladder here. Again, we have some more supplies. We have some more makeshift beds right here for maybe the guards to take a quick nap. A little table there with some beer when someone's thirsty. Again, as you can see, we have a lot of good sight lines, a lot of good windows so we can view who's traveling along our roads here. And then take note of the woodworking here, how our roof is held up, very realistic. I really loved how this turned out. Then opening door here, we step out on the battlements right above our barracks here, as you can see. Good for flanking our enemies. But we'll go ahead and head back inside the tower. And I think we'll go ahead and make our way to the gatehouse. But before we stop at the gatehouse, we'll hop on these hoardings here, which gives you a very good view of who's approaching. And then we have the machicolations here. Again, very realistic. I really loved how it turned out here. Again, you can see whoever's coming up the road there. But then moving on, we'll go ahead and enter into our gatehouse here. So stepping in here, we have our gatehouse, and as you can see, we can defend from here with some arrows or crossbow. Whoops. So we'll go ahead and go down the stairs the proper way. And now we have our drawbridge mechanism here. And again, It's simple. Our drawbridge isn't that huge, it's not that heavy, so something simple like this can get the job done. So here on the floor we have our access to our murder holes. And then if we come over to this area here, we have a bunch of stones and debris where we can scoop it up in the bucket and then dump it down on our enemies from here. And so that's cool. And then over here we have some spears that we can also hurl down there to those murder holes as well. And then up at the top here, there's a couple of windows that gives us a pretty decent vantage point from would-be attackers. As you can see, we have good sight lines. We can see who's coming up this path, so we can pick them off and shoot arrows and crossbow bolts at them. But here at the top, we just have this area here where we have this realistic support system for the roof. Looks really cool. And then we have this area here where our guards can get something to drink. Maybe it's beer or ale, I don't know. And then we have a couple of thatch beds where they can rest. And so that's that. And we have some arrows, some ammunition up here. These windows don't work as well, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and move on. Go ahead and open a door there. Again, we have our battlements there where we can flank attackers. And then we'll just walk down this path here along the battlements. And then we'll enter into this tower here. And as you see, we do have an arrow slit here. And then if we go up the ladder here to the top portion, we have a couple of windows or a couple of arrow slits, as you can see, with some ammunition up at the top. And then we have this little bench here. Then opening the door here. Whoop. There we go. We step out to the battlements on the back of the castle here. And then we do have these braziers, so we can light it with fire to keep our guards warm up here at night. And also we can light our arrows in it and shoot fire arrows out at any ships that may try to approach from here that don't belong in our bay. Then we do have some arrows here. And then we do have this little arrow slit here. I just put this here. I don't know. It's probably not that useful, but I just put it here anyways. I thought it was a cool idea. So opening the door here, we step in. Again, we have another arrow slit in the wall there and also there as well. But we're gonna go ahead and go down here. And now this place is pretty interesting. It's a small castle, so we don't have a big formal dungeon, and so this extra space that's unused is used as a dungeon to hold hostages or whatever, prisoners of war or something like that. And it's also where we keep a lot of our ammunition. So yeah, cool. We'll go ahead and climb back up this ladder here. Whoop. There we go. And then if we go out through here, we're back on those battlements that is near the guardhouse or the barracks. So we'll open that up. And then we'll go back down the ladder here, turn back around. There we go. And then we'll step right back out into the bailey. Okay, so next we'll go ahead and finish checking out some of the smaller portions of the castle before we check out the main keep. So we'll head back this way. And then we'll go through here. And we'll head way in the back here. And we come to this room where there's a decent bed, there's some books, there's a nice table, but there are shackles. And this is where we would keep our high value hostages that we will ransom them back off to their families or kingdoms who are willing to pay a high price to have them back. And that's how they would make their money during war times. And of course we have some keys right there. So now we'll go ahead and double back, and I think we'll go ahead and check out the first part of the castle, which will be the kitchen and the servant areas. So stepping in, as you can see, this is the castle's kitchen. Everybody from the guards to the Lord's meals comes out of this kitchen, is prepared here. We have the stove here. Then we have lots and lots of supplies around. We have a big table here where the food is being set out and I guess waiting to be taken up to be eaten by the Lord and his family. Our guards. Really cool atmosphere in here. Lots of details. Opening the door here, we step into the first area where the servants sleep, and we have a little area where we have some decent beds and some chests around for them to store their belongings. But opening the door here, we step back and we have a little bed here. And we have lots and lots of barrels of beer and ale and wine. Another bed there. Opening this door, again, we step deeper into the pantry area where we have a lot more food stores here on some shelves. Lots of supplies, food supplies everywhere. And then we do have another little bed there. And that's the servants area / kitchen / pantry. And we'll go ahead and move on. We'll go ahead and head towards the stairs to go into the main keep. Going up the stairs here. We'll go ahead and open the door. And then we'll step right on into the main keep here. As you can see, very beautifully painted walls. We have a couple of doors on the side, and then we have this door here. We'll take this door first, and we come into what would be, I guess you can call it the main dining hall, where the Lord would have like his guests or guards, closest entourage, and they'll have a celebration feast in here. Obviously, it's not the biggest room, so it wouldn't fit that many people. So it'd be for smaller parties. But we do have a fireplace there, and then we have this beautiful window seating area here. As you can see how thick the walls are. That's really cool. And then over here we have our garderobe, and I really love how this turned out. It just feels so right. If that doesn't sound too weird, but yeah, I really love the design of this. And of course, we have these kind of these little curtains where you can let them down when you want some privacy. One thing I love about this castle are the walls are really thick in it. I try to stay consistent with that throughout this castle, to the best of my abilities. And now stepping into the first bedroom on this floor, we have this beautifully painted room here, with some beautiful wall murals up there at the top. We have some nice beds in here, a petition right there, a nice window seat. Maybe a high-ranking knight and his squire stays in this room. It's really cool and cozy in here. Nice fireplace there. But that's it. We'll go ahead and move on down the hall. We'll open this door here, and then right here we have another room, another cozy room, maybe for another high-ranking court official that lives in this castle here. Got a bookshelf there, a little place to write here, and then a nice sized chest to keep his belongings in. And so that's that. Next we'll head up to the next level. And now I really love the color palette up here. It just feels so nice. So the first room here, we'll step in. We have the first solar. We just have a nice fireplace here to keep it warm. A nice window seat area here. Some areas to sit and relax for the family. And we have some food here on the table, some cheese, maybe some goat cheese there. some chests to keep some belongings in. But that's that. We'll go ahead and step back out, close that door, and we'll head on to the next room here. Stepping in here, we have another nice luxury bed. And then we have this room heater there. And that's pretty much that. We do have our coat of arms on the walls. And then in this room, we have two people that sleep in this room. Again, maybe another knight and his squire that stays in here. Maybe it's a son of the Lord and his squire. Now, opening this door here, we step into the Lord's solar. And now this is where, again, him and maybe his entourage, they get around this table and they discuss matters of war and strategy in this room here. We have a bookshelf there, places to sit, of course, around the table. Then we got an area where we have some beer and some ale, maybe wine. So yeah, that's the idea behind this room here. I really love how this floor came out, quite possibly my favorite so far in the castle. But we'll open up the door here and move on to the third floor. And as you guys see, I'm trying to change up the colors on each floor just to make it feel a little different because it is a smaller castle. We have a window seat here, and stepping into this room, we have the ladies' solar. And now this is where the Lord's wife would sit with her handmaids and just relax and just, use her spinning wheel and just, kind of relax in front of the fire and just be pampered by her servants. And she does have her little cat here sleeping on the rug. She's making textiles and fabrics and stuff like that. It's really cool in here. Some of the little things to note. Over here in the corner, we have this little lute right here next to the cat. Then we have another little tray of cheese there. Yeah. I think we can go ahead and move on. Close the door there. And then stepping over here through this door, we have the castle's chapel. Now, I don't know how I really feel about this color pattern on the wall here, but I really couldn't think of anything that looked quite right. And so it is what it is for now, but we'll go ahead and move on. Whoop. All right, so we'll make our way down the hall. We'll be coming back to that space there later. So first off, we have our second garderobe in the castle. And again, I really love how these came out. They're so deep in the wall. You can see how thick the walls are. And again, when they want their privacy, they can close those shutters there. But we'll open this door here and we step into the ladies of the castle's room. As you can see, she has her vanity there with her mirror. She has a nice bed, comfy bed. Some dresser drawers there to store some of her belongings. And she has some jewelry boxes there. A nice window seat there. Added in some feminine touches with the flowers. So she's set up pretty comfortably. And now for the last room here, we step into the Lord's room. And of course he has a nice big bed, an area where he has a bookshelf. And then he has this nice room heater here. And it's a pretty cool color pattern, or palette I should say too. And so that's the Lord's room. And now doubling back to this room here, we have another little solar area, pretty lightly decorated, as you can see, but it has some stairs that lead up to the very top part of the castle here. And now again, we have our little defenses here, our battlements here, where we can look out and see who's approaching. We can also attack and shoot arrows and crossbow bolts from there. And it does wrap all the way around like so, at least until some point. And then this area here, it's kind of doubles as an armory and a barracks, like a second barracks for our guards to just kind of sit and sleep and eat when they're on guard duty inside the castle here. We have lots of shields and shields and storage, weapons and storage, and arrows and spears all around. We also have swords as well in here. And then again, a lot of hay and thatch all on the ground, and it's not just there for no reason. Again, old castles like this would eventually have leaky roofs, and by having a lot of hay and thatch on the floor, it can soak up a lot of the water before it drips down and starts to, be a real inconvenience for our lord. Yeah, but besides that, that's pretty much it. We do have some of our banners hanging from the rafters up there. So we'll go ahead and head back down out of the castle. So guys, that was Kuttenstein Castle. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I did. I had so much fun putting this castle together. I really am in love with this build, and I really can't wait to see where it goes. I plan to knock this one out between 3 to 5 episodes max, and then I'll wrap it up and put the map out for you guys to download, just like in Dobek, for those of you who would like to see this map in person for yourselves. So I highly recommend that you guys follow the channel, like and subscribe, and if you are so willingly, give it a thumbs up. It really helps, and I really do appreciate the love and support that you guys show me. With that being said, I am the Kinder Knight from Kuttenstein Castle, and until the next one, I bid you all a farewell.